A very good morning to teachers and my fellow friends. I'm THANDAVAN KOMALAN from SMK KAMPUNG JAMBU. I'm doing a project-based learning video on Amazon rainforest and the pandemic effects on it. The Amazon rainforest, the world's largest remaining natural resource, covers 54% of the Earth's remaining rainforest. Then there's the fact that it's home to almost 30 million people. The Amazon rainforest is the world's richest and most diverse biological reservoir with millions of insects, plants, birds, and other species, many of which are still unknown to science. A diverse range of trees can be seen among the lush flora, from subalpine conifer forests to lush tropical rainforests cover nearly one-third of the Earth's land surface. The Amazon rainforest is responsible for producing 20% of the world's oxygen, which is why it is many times referred to as lungs of the planet. While it covers only 3.4 million square miles, less than 2% of the Earth's surface, the Amazon produces more than 10 times that amount of the world's oxygen. The Amazon rainforest encompasses 2.3 million square miles. Isn't it fascinating? It is located in South America and accounting for just over half of the tropics' primary forest. The Amazon rainforest spans 9 countries. The Amazon forest includes Brazil, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana. The tropical rainforest experiences a humid season throughout the year. In the Amazon forest, there are no periodic seasons such as summer, winter, autumn, and spring by virtue of the tropics. All the land and vegetation between the tropics do not experience these seasons. Instead, the rainforest experiences fairly hot temperatures of 26 to 30 degrees Celsius throughout the year. This is attributed to the imaginary equator line, which influences a consistency in the day long with 12 hours of sunlight all year round. Consequently, there is a constant supply of sunlight, which is a key component in photosynthesis, powering up the rainforest all year round. Generally, it is this phenomenon that maintains a warm temperature from a low of 22 degrees Celsius to a high of 34 degrees Celsius in the tropics. Nevertheless, the forest is mostly damp from the constant humidity levels. Due to the presence of a large forest cover with over 390 billion individual trees, the air feels both stuffy and humid, making venturing into the forest a bit cumbersome. The Amazon River is the world's largest river by discharge at an average discharge rate of about 209,000 cubic meters per second, representing approximately 20% of global riverine discharge to the ocean. The river covers about 2,000 miles, which would be the distance between Shelburne, Vermont, Houston, and Texas. The Amazon River, which runs through the Amazon Rainforest, is the world's second longest river after the Nile. It is also the world's largest by water volume. The Amazon River comprises hundreds of waterways that stretch across 6,840 kilometers and has 17 tributaries that drain 55 million gallons of water every second into the Atlantic Ocean. Due to the thickness of the canopy, the Amazon floor is in permanent darkness. It's so thick that when it rains, it takes around 10 minutes for the water to reach the ground. The density of tree cover influences the amount of both sunlight and rainfall reaching every forest layer. A full canopied forest absorbs between 60 and 90% of available light, most of which is absorbed by the leaves for photosynthesis. The movement of rainfall into the forest is considerably influenced by leaf cover, which tends to slow the velocity of falling water, which penetrates down to the ground level by running down tree trunks or dripping from leaves. Water not absorbed by the tree roots for nutrition runs along root channels. So, water erosion is therefore not a major factor in shaping forest topography. The Amazon is one of the world's richest and most varied ecosystems, home to over 40,000 plant species, 3,000 fish species, 1,300 bird species, 430 mammals, and an amazing 2.5 million different insect species. It's safe to say you will find so many interesting and diverse creatures lurking on the forest floor or moving from tree to tree, while many of the animals within the Amazon are gentle and friendly. There are a few that you would want to keep your distance from, such as venomous snakes, poisonous frogs, jaguars, and flesh-eating piranhas. One fascinating fish found in the Amazon is the pirarucu, also known as arapaima or paiche, a menacing meat eater. The pirarucu guzzles up other fish and can grow to nearly 3 meters long. And what makes it super deadly? It has teeth on the roof of its mouth and its tongue. The Amazon is one of Earth's last refuges for jaguars, harpy eagles, and pink river dolphins, and it is home to sloths, black spider monkeys, and poison dart frogs. It contains 1 in 10 known species on Earth, 40,000 plant species, 3,000 freshwater fish species, and more than 370 types of reptiles. Over 2,000 new species of plants and vertebrates, including a monkey that purrs like a cat, have been described since 1999. Home to more than 1,000 different species of birds like hummingbirds, channel-billed toucans, hodzins, and macaws. The Amazon is one of the most diverse areas for birds in the world. Macaws, an icon of the Amazon, are highly intelligent and social, living in flocks of 10 to 30 birds. They mate for life and can live up to 60 years. Some species can even mimic human speech. But macaws are under threat from deforestation and the illegal pet trade. Many people travel to the Amazon rainforest to view monkeys in their natural habitat. Maybe it's the close relation to our species that make us fascinated by these furry creatures. Whatever the reason may be, the Amazon rainforest is home to various species of primates, the most common being the howler, spider, squirrel, capuchin, tamarin, and marmoset. The origin of 80% of the varieties of food we get across the world origin in the Amazon rainforest. More than 3,000 types of fruit which are grown in the Amazon are edible. These includes oranges, lemons, avocados, coconuts, grapefruits, mangoes, and pineapples. 1/4 of the world's Western medicine uses ingredients from the Amazon rainforest. 70% of the plants which work against cancer cells come from the Amazon. Forests are often referred to as nature's medicine cabinet. Forests are the source of many ingredients that are used to create drugs to treat malaria, cancer, and other diseases. More than 1/4 of modern medicines are derived from tropical forest plants. On the flip side, when humans destroy forest habitats, it can lead to the spread of dangerous diseases. In addition to being home to thousands of different tree and animal species, the Amazon rainforest is also inhabited by 400 to 500 indigenous tribes. It is estimated that over 50 of these tribes have never had contact with the outside world, showing that there are still parts of the Amazon that remain untouched. More than 30 million people, including 350 indigenous and ethnic groups, live in the Amazon and depend on nature for agriculture, clothing, and traditional medicines. Around 400 to 500 indigenous Amerindian tribes live in the Amazon rainforest. Around 50 of them have their language and culture and have never had contact with the outer world. They are nomadic hunters and gatherers and constantly need to move around. This includes millions of indigenous people who are almost entirely dependent on forests for their subsistence and survival. For many rural communities, forests are their neighborhood grocery stores. Forests are an excellent place to storage for wild foods such as berries, mushrooms, leaves, tubers, and nuts. And the wild animals that live in forests are an important source of protein. Forests are also play an essential role in food preparation since about one-third of the world's population uses wood fuel for cooking. Coronavirus spread to extent that by mid-March, many governments around the world were issuing shelter-in-place orders, which peaked on April 7. Lockdowns triggered a global freeze on travel, collapsing conservation. Business models based on ecotourism or visits from researchers and prompting international NGOs to retreat from many field sites. Law enforcement evaporated in some places, resulting an increase in illegal activities including logging, poaching, invasions of indigenous lands and protected areas, and forest clearing, according to some accounts. Panic buying of gold triggered a surge in the price of the precious metal, ushering in gold rushes in tropical forests around the world, especially in the Amazon. The Amazon rainforest has mostly been felled by projects of little long-term gain such as temporary cattle pastures. Little thought has been given to sustainable use systems for the region, since less than 10% of the total area has been clear-cut to date. There is a considerable chance of avoiding the disaster of removing the entire forest. Some signs of a changing attitude towards the value of these forests are given, and suggestions are made about ways to build a sustainable long-term future for the region. These include the creation of larger conservation areas and indigenous reserves, the adaptation of indigenous agroforestry techniques to use mixed cultures where crops are grown. The restoration with sustainable timber plantations of areas that have already been destroyed. The increase of extractivist reserves and development of markets for products that are extracted from the forest. The greater use of oligarchic forests, which are quite abundant in some parts of Amazon, and the development of agriculture only in the few places where the soils are suitable, such as in the flood plains of whitewater rivers. I would like to thank both my parents and my teacher, Chegu Kamalia, for helping me finish this project. I hope everybody enjoyed the video and everyone has a clear picture of the Amazon rainforest, one of the wonders of the world. Thank you.